Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. A lot of people join Navy Federal, they open an account, they put a few dollars in there, and then immediately start trying to apply for credit cards, auto loans, personal loans, or higher limits. Then when they get denied, they're confused. They start thinking that their credit score is the only reason that they cannot get approved for anything with Navy Federal. But the truth is, with Navy Federal and honestly most credit unions, the relationship really does matter. You have to understand how these institutions look at you. And this is where a simple $20 secret will come into play. Now, one of the simplest things that you can do after you join Navy Federal is simply keeping $20 in a membership shared savings account. Now, some people are going to hear that and say, Steven, come on, how can $20 help me actually get a high limit credit card? And that is exactly why this works, because most people don't understand banking this way. That $20 is the catalyst for you to actually start building your relationship with Navy Federal. And this may sound small, but when you're trying to maximize your relationship with a credit union, every product that you get matters, and this is the most important product. And this is not something that Navy Federal is going to explain to you in a way that actually makes sense strategically. So in this video, I'm going to break down the $20 Navy Federal secret that they'll never tell you about, and I'm also going to explain how this can be the entryway to higher limits. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now let's break down this $20 secret and why such an insignificant amount could actually make a big difference. Now, in most instances, credit unions require you to open a savings account. They're often called a share savings account because it establishes your ownership and membership in that institution. Unlike traditional banks, which are for-profit corporations, credit unions are not for-profit financial cooperatives. When you deposit a small amount, usually from $5 to $25 into this savings account, you are purchasing a share of that credit union. Many credit unions describe this minimum share amount as the credit union's par value, and members generally need this to meet the share requirement and to access full membership benefits. Now, let's talk about par value a little bit more. Now, this refers to the initial value assigned to a share of a credit union. The par value in credit unions plays a role in defining your membership, allowing members to attend the annual meetings and ensuring financial stability of that institution. In other words, you establish a share account by depositing money equal to one par value to join the credit union, because once again, unlike banks, credit unions are owned and operated by their members. So when you join a credit union like Navy Federal, you are buying a share, which makes you a part owner of that credit union. All members should have one share account, allowing equity across the credit union, unlike banks where you can own multiple shares by purchasing bank stocks. Now, par value is significant for Navy Federal for several reasons. First, it shows a commitment. Your par value deposit will demonstrate your commitment to being a member and participating in Navy Federal's purpose and mission. Second will be financial stability. The par value of shares helps maintain a stable financial base that supports Navy Federal Credit Union's operations, and it absorbs costs associated with services where members are not charged. Third is dividend calculations. Par value can influence how dividends or interest rates are calculated and how these dividends are paid to members' accounts. And fourth is regulatory compliance. A Navy Federal share savings account establishes your membership in the credit union, and it requires a minimum opening deposit of just $5. You need a $5 minimum daily balance to avoid account closure. And if you close this savings account, your Navy Federal membership will be terminated. And that is why having a share membership savings account with at least $20 in it is the beginning to building a strong internal score and unlocking funding with Navy Federal. So now that we understand the significance of the share membership savings account, and we also understand why we should keep at least $20 in that account, let's talk about how we go from a $20 savings to $25,000 in credit, or up to $80,000 with Navy Federal. Now, will a $20 share membership savings account by itself guarantee you a $25,000 credit card? Not at all. But what I'm going to share with you is what I believe to be the internal scoring formula that Navy Federal will use to determine who gets approved for unsecured credit cards with much higher starting limits and who may qualify for a credit limit increase beyond $25,000. Like every major financial institution, Navy Federal will use some type of internal scoring system. Banks, credit unions, lenders, even platforms like YouTube, they all operate with systems and algorithms behind the scenes. A system is simply an organized framework, which is a set of rules, patterns, and procedures that determine how decisions are made. And when you study any system long enough, patterns will start to appear. You begin to notice what actions seem to improve your results, what behaviors that institution rewards, and what factors appear to influence approvals. So based on my personal observation of Navy Federal's internal scoring system, I created a simple formula. So I believe your Navy Federal internal score is a combination of all of these factors: your TransUnion FICO 9 score, plus your years of membership, plus your account balance, plus your account quality and your quantity, and then direct deposit. Now, this is not some official formula that Navy Federal actually discloses. This is my own personal breakdown based on patterns that I've seen, data points, and my own experience with this credit union. But no matter who you are, everything starts with the same first step: opening a Navy Federal share savings account. That requires at least $5 for you to open that share membership savings to keep it active. And I always recommend keeping at least $20 in there because the average par value is right around $20 for most credit unions. That small deposit will establish your membership, but the real goal is to build a stronger relationship with Navy Federal over time. So now let's break down each part of this formula and how you can actually position yourself for higher credit limits and higher funding. The first part of our formula will be your TransUnion FICO 9 score. Now, this matters because Navy Federal is commonly known, and I think everybody knows this by now, it's almost, like a for sure thing. They are known to pull your TransUnion FICO 9 score when they review credit applications. They look very closely at this score when determining approvals, starting limits, interest rates, and future credit limit increases. Now, your TransUnion FICO 9 score is not the only thing that matters, but it is one of the most important starting points. This score gives Navy Federal a snapshot of how you manage credit outside of their institution. They're looking at things like your payment history, your credit utilization, your account age, your recent inquiries, your new accounts, and any negative items reporting on your credit profile. So if you're brand new to Navy Federal and they know nothing about you, this is the best thing that they can use to actually determine what you qualify for, especially in the very beginning. And even if you build a strong relationship with Navy Federal, your external credit profile still does matter. A stronger TransUnion FICO 9 score can help improve your approval odds, help improve what you qualify for, as well as getting better rates and also positioning you for higher credit limits. But here's the most important part: your score does not necessarily have to be excellent. In some cases, even a fair credit score in the low 600s, that may still give you a chance with Navy Federal, especially if you have a strong relationship with them. However, what you don't want to have is serious negative information reporting on your credit, like collections, like charge-offs, or late payments, or any other derogatory marks. These can hurt your approval odds even if you have a decent score, and this is where Rising can help. Now, Rising is an all-in-one credit improvement platform that gives you access to your credit reports and your scores. It shows you what may be hurting your profile, and it helps you take actions with tools like dispute templates and bureau response tracking. Think of Rising as your 90-day credit improvement system. It can also help you add positive payment history through rent and utility reporting, with the ability to report up to 24 months of past payments. So that means you may be able to add more on-time payment history and potentially increase the age of your credit profile. So before you apply for any Navy Federal credit products, you want to clean up your profile first. You want to understand what's hurting your score and put yourself in the strongest position possible. Now, right now, you can get started with Rising through the $1 7-day trial. There will be a link in the description. There will also be a clickable link here on screen. But do not forget that Navy Federal is not only looking at your credit score, they're also building their own internal score based on how you manage your relationship with them. So by depositing $20 into your share savings account, that gets you in the door, and it also establishes your first product. Your TransUnion FICO 9 score can also get you approved, but your Navy Federal relationship will determine how far you go in getting higher limit approvals. The next parts of the formula are years of membership, account balance, and account quantity, as well as the quality of the accounts. Now, this is where your relationship with Navy Federal does start to matter a whole lot. Your years of membership show how long you've been connected to this credit union, and the longer that you've been a member, of course, the more history Navy Federal will have with you. Now, this is not something that you can control. You have to just give it time. It's also the easiest thing to accomplish because all you have to do is keep your accounts active and in good standing. That is it. Now, that doesn't automatically guarantee an approval, but it can build trust over time, especially when your accounts are active, funded, and managed properly. Then you have your account balance. Now, when you apply for any Navy Federal product, whether it be a credit card, a personal loan, an auto loan, or just a credit limit increase, you want to have money sitting in your Navy Federal accounts. That balance will show liquidity. It actually shows that you're using this institution. When members deposit money into checking accounts and then they move it to their savings or their money market accounts, those deposits help Navy Federal fund loans, and it also helps them pay dividends to other members. That can include personal loans, mortgages, business loans, auto loans, and credit cards. Then Navy Federal will earn money by charging interest on those loans. So when you keep money with Navy Federal, you're not just building a relationship on paper. You're giving them deposits that they can actually use to lend to other people. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to throw all of your money into Navy Federal or deposit money you can't afford to keep there. But if you're serious about getting approved for higher limits, I personally believe it helps to keep a decent balance in your Navy Federal checking account before applying for anything. One account I like for this strategy is the Navy Federal flagship checking account. Now, the reason I like the flagship checking is because it's one of Navy Federal's stronger checking products. This account can earn dividends, it has additional account benefits, and if you maintain an average daily balance of at least $1,500, Navy Federal will waive any monthly service fees. So my recommendation is if you can keep at least $1,500 in a flagship checking, that will show Navy Federal that you're actively using them. Then you have the money market savings account. Now, this is another account that you can use to help strengthen your relationship because it shows that you're saving more money with Navy Federal. Navy Federal's money market savings account requires at least $2,500 to earn dividends. So this can be a good place to park extra savings while still keeping your money accessible. The goal is not just to have more accounts, the goal is to have better quality accounts. Account quantity and quality means you have multiple Navy Federal products, but they actually make sense. For example, having a share savings account or a flagship checking account or a money market savings account, maybe even having a certificate or a pledge loan or a secure credit card that you manage responsibly. All of this would show Navy Federal that you're actively using all of their products, they want to see deposits, and they want to see responsible account management. Now, if you're interested in these products like the Navy Federal Pledge Loan, I just did a brand new video covering that. I'm going to link that video right here if you're interested in learning more about that. I also have a video where I talk about Navy Federal certificates. So if you're interested in one of those, I'm going to link that video here as well. Just understand that Navy Federal wants to see that you're not just here for a quick approval. They want to see that you're building a long-term relationship with them. So when we're talking about building your internal score, it's not just about your credit score, even though it can play a factor. It's still very important for you to establish your relationship and start using more products. Now, the final part of the formula is going to be direct deposit. And in my opinion, direct deposit is one of the strongest relationship building moves that you can make with Navy Federal. And the reason is simple. Direct deposit creates predictable cash flow. When Navy Federal sees consistent money coming into your account every week, every 2 weeks, or every month, it shows them that your account is active and that you have regular income flowing through their institution. That matters because banks and credit unions like predictability. If your paycheck, your military pay, retirement income, your VA benefits, or any other reoccurring income is deposited directly into Navy Federal, they can see a pattern. They can see how much money is coming in, how often it comes in, and how you manage that money after it hits the account. And when you apply for credit, that relationship can help strengthen your overall profile. Now, this does not mean direct deposit guarantees approvals. Navy Federal is still going to look at your credit profile, your income, your existing debt, your account history, and of course, other risk factors. But direct deposit can help build your Navy Federal internal score because it shows activity, consistency, and commitment to the relationship. You're no longer just a member with a $20 share savings account deposit. You're using Navy Federal as one of your primary financial financial institutions. And if you're self-employed, you can still set this up. You can run payroll yourself through platforms like Gusto, ADP, or other payroll providers, and you can have that income deposited directly into your Navy Federal account. This allows you to create the same direct deposit pattern even if you own a business or you work for yourself. Now, if you don't know how to do this, I have an entire video that shows you how to actually run your own payroll. I'm going to link that video right here as well. So if you're trying to build a stronger relationship with Navy Federal, do not overlook direct deposits. You want to set up consistent deposits, you want to keep money flowing through your accounts, and you want to manage your accounts responsibly. And you want to let Navy Federal see that you're not just applying for credit, you're actually banking with them. That's how you start building a stronger internal profile and positioning yourself for better approvals and higher starting limits and future credit limit increases. So now let's tie all of this together. Everything starts with the share membership savings account. That small deposit of $20 or whatever amount you decide to keep in the account, it's not random. That money represents your ownership share in the credit union, and that is what's known as the par value. So when you open that share savings account and you deposit that money, it's more than just a required amount. You're officially establishing your membership with Navy Federal, and that $20 is your entry point. The real strategy is what you do after you become a member. Because once you open that share membership savings account, Navy Federal now has the ability to start building a profile on you internally. They can see how long you've been a member, how much money you keep with them, how many accounts you have open, how often you use those accounts, whether or not you have direct deposit, and how responsibly you manage everything. So if someone is brand new and they want to use this blueprint for maximum Navy Federal funding, here is how I would think about it. The first thing you want to do is open the share membership savings account and establish membership with at least $20. Secondly, you want to ensure that your TransUnion credit profile has no derogatory information. Remember, you don't need a perfect credit score, but you do want to remove as many negative accounts as possible and keep utilization low. Step number 3, I would open a strong checking account like the flagship checking, and I would keep a decent balance in the account. Now, if you can maintain at least $1,500, that helps you avoid the monthly service fee, and it also shows a stronger banking relationship. However, if you can't maintain that amount, it's okay. Just do the free easy checking until you can. For step number 4, I would consider adding a money market savings account. If you do have at least $2,500 and you can keep it there, I would do so. Now, that isn't a requirement, but I do think that'll help you maximize your internal score. Now, another part of step number 4 would be referring to any other additional products that you want to add, like the Navy Federal checking line of credit, or if you want to add a certificate or a pledge loan, or even a secure credit card, or just a regular credit card if you do pre-qualify. Those are all good options as well. Now, for step number 5, I would set up direct deposit. If you have a job, send your paycheck there. If you're self-employed, once again, you can set up payroll. I have a video covering that. I would just make sure that you have some sort of direct deposit set up with Navy Federal. And then step number 6 is very easy. Give the relationship some time. Don't open all the accounts today and then start applying for credit cards tomorrow. You want to let Navy Federal see activity, let them see deposits and balances and responsible account management. Most banks typically need 3 to 6 months of transactional data to build a baseline profile for a new customer, and they need 12 to 24 months to establish a comprehensive profile for lending or underwriting. Now, I'm not saying that you need to wait that long, but I would say at least wait 3 months, even with excellent credit. And of course, if you're in the stage of rebuilding, when your credit profile is ready, when your account has history, when your balances are stronger and your direct deposit is active, that is when you are in a much better position to apply for unsecured credit cards or personal loans or auto loans or future credit limit increases. And that is the real power of the $20 secret. It's not that $20 alone will get you approved. It's that $20 is the start to this relationship, and it's also the start to hitting that par value. And once that relationship starts, your job is to build the internal score that Navy Federal wants to see. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember, it's not about opening a savings account and expecting Navy Federal to hand you massive credit limits overnight. It's about understanding that the share membership savings account is the starting point, and that small deposit establishes your membership, but your internal score is built by what you do after that. Use Navy Federal consistently, add quality products over time, and when you finally apply, you'll be in a much better position to get approved for higher limits. And again, if your credit profile needs some work before applying, make sure you check out Rising. You can use it to review your credit reports, find what may be hurting your score, create dispute letters and templates, and you can send that out and use that as your 90-day credit improvement system. Now, if you got value from this video, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel and comment Navy Federal below. That lets me know that you actually made it all the way to the end. I truly appreciate you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you guys have a wonderful day.